What is up, Watch fam, and welcome to Rant&h. I am Christian from Theo and Harris, and today we're going to be doing a collection review. A collection review of a young watch geek who is off to a tremendous start. In fact, he could probably stop collecting right now and have a pretty damn commendable collection for the rest of his life. But before we get into that, we'll do a quick wristwatch check. I am wearing Tudor Oyster London. This watch it actually will be available in the shop at theoandharris.com tomorrow, and it is, as you see in the video, absolutely gorgeous. It has a crisp eggshell white dial with amazing custard lume on both of the dots as well as the hands, an original blue seconds hand. I mean, this watch is to me one of probably the best Tudors I've ever owned. I'm incredibly happy to wear it right now, and I'm incredibly proud to offer it on the shop at theoandharris.com. So be sure to check out the listings tomorrow. 5 new listings, actually 6 new vintage watches are going to be listed on the shop tomorrow about 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So that's it. Be sure to check it out and be quick, because they end up flying off to God knows where pretty quickly. Okay, so I'm reviewing the collection of Eddie Zhang. He's a 23-year-old watch geek, I think based in California. He's a T&H fan, and he's got a wonderful collection, so let's get into it. His first watch is a Seamaster from 1989. I'll start off with the fundamental opinion on the watch. It's awesome. It's obviously a ripoff of a solid gold Submariner, and there's nothing wrong with that. I love what they did with the bracelet. There's these little kind of textured dots throughout the middle links. I think it's a really pretty watch. I would wear it in a second. Sim is obviously, you know, a very well-regarded company in the vintage world. I don't think that this watch particularly is at the pinnacle of their kind of, you know, why they're renowned, but still, it's a real brand. It's not some, you know, baloney, you know, just rip-off Chinese, you know, Mott Street, you know, Chinatown kind of watch. It really is a great watch. I happen to love the idea of solid gold Submariners because they are the opposite of what made the Submariner popular, right? The Submariner was popular for being the tools watch, the man's watch. And then the solid gold version came out and it became the white collar guy's watch. It was the suit and boiler room, kind of like Wall Street tactics, and it's super cool. So anyway, what makes this watch even more special is that it was Eddie's grandfather's watch that he wore for over 20 years. Eddie says it's the watch that he remembers his grandfather holding him wearing. I mean, that's just super special. There's really nothing else you can say. I mean, every watch geek who knows, or even people who don't care about watches, they know their grandfather's watch if he did in fact wear one. My grandfather wore an Omega Seamaster that I won't get. My uncle will get it, but I will always appreciate that watch from today to 10 years ago to the day that I die. So it means just so much. And the truth is, Eddie, you got very, very lucky because 1, you inherited that watch, 2, you have fond memories of your grandfather, and 3, it's a very good watch, because your grandfather could have left you a piece of shit watch that you also would have had to love and you would have had such nostalgic and great feelings about, but this watch just so happens to also be awesome. So props for keeping it, props for sharing it with me and not being like embarrassed by, as you mentioned, it's a low monetary value. It's ridiculous. It's totally irrelevant. Be proud with that watch. Your grandfather also had some pretty damn good taste. Your next watch, Eddie, is a favorite of mine, and not one that I've given much attention to or one that I've spoken about often, whether on camera or off, but it's a favorite. It's the Rolex Cellini, the reference 5509. It's in white gold, like you mentioned in the email. It's this cross, you know, bred watch between the classic Cellini, like super refined, you know, style, almost with a date just and certainly a bubble back feel. This watch to me is a culmination of really great Rolex things. It's in white gold, which to me is a beautiful metal. Surely, I mean, it has a lot of the class of any precious metal, but it doesn't have that kind of, I love yellow gold, so it's not gonna say tacky, but it doesn't have that, it doesn't have that typical old man kind of feel watch. This watch, although certainly formal, you know, because it is a white gold, you know, dress watch, at 40 millimeters is so casual as well. I mean, you know, I would wear that watch with this outfit right now. Yes, would I wear it with this suit? No question. But I would wear it right now, kicking around with a pair of, you know, pair of boots, a pair of jeans, and an Oxford shirt. So that to me is a beautiful, beautiful watch. You got it as a graduation gift from college, which is awesome. Obviously, your parents, who I believe gave it to you, are incredibly generous people. And I don't know if you picked it out or they did, but whoever did pick it out has incredible taste. There are a couple elements here to get a little bit more specific about this watch and why I love it that I want to talk about. First, the hands. Rolex used to make incredible hands. Now, I mean, it's really just stick, mostly. But at one point, it was stick, leaf, dauphine, a wide boy. I mean, it was loom, no loom. It was a variety of different hand styles that are just gone. And I believe that this is the alpha hand, and I love that. I love that Rolex kind of brought back this classic element of their watches that's kind of been neglected. I mean, Datejust used to come on 4 or 5 different hand styles. So to me, bringing that element back is terrific. The next element that I love here is the hour markers, or are the hour markers at 12, 3, 6, and 9. It's these elongated Roman numerals, and I love that because it almost seems like a stick. But if you look a little closer, you notice that, oh, that's a 12, and oh, and that's a 3, and that's a 6. I think it's a very subtle move. And the final element that I love is the bezel. It has this kind of, fluted thing going, but it's not. It's really kind of like a coin edge bezel. It's fine. It's not ostentatious or blingy. In an era where Rolex has made their bezels into these like Reese's peanut butter cup, like the largest thing that can catch the light, this is just class. And I love that. So this is a terrific watch, props for it. The next watch you chose was the Batman, the Rolex BLNR GMT. I love this watch. I think that it was a great segue into the new era of GMT. I'm not a huge Coke fan, the Rolex, the black and red. It's just not my style as much. I think that it's a little bit too abrupt. My personal opinion, that's it. I do love Pepsi, but to me this BLNR was just such an interesting contemporary choice for Rolex. It makes perfect sense. Black is night, blue is day. It's this color of the sky, and it seems so obvious, but it almost has this edgy kind of thing, and I don't think they'll ever do it again per se. I think that this is a very unique to right now, or to when it was introduced, Rolex, watch, and that's it. I don't think that we're going to see reiterations of the BLNR in the future. I just don't. So I think that it was a great decision for you to pick this up, and of course, it's such a versatile watch. You can wear it with everything from a bathing suit, which I know that sounds like you might beat it up on the beach, but it's the truth, from a bathing suit to a suit. I mean, I know that some people are kind of anti-sports Rolex with the suit, but it's not true. I mean, you can definitely wear a beautiful sports Rolex with a suit, as well as your Cellini. So now you have 2 really great options that are kind of middle of the line. You have a sports watch with an oyster bracelet in the GMT that can be dressed up, and you have the Cellini, which is definitely a dress watch, but that can be dressed down. So you have great variation here, and I think that's super, super important. And the most recent watch you picked up was Universal Geneve, a chronograph, and I think that you're absolutely right for doing that. Not only am I super happy that you went with a vintage offering, because vintage is better, period. It represents so much value, and Universal Geneve, definitely hot right now, and a hot topic right now, I think deserves that. And in a collection with 2, very high quality watches in your GMT and your Cellini, I think that the extra investment that you put in, as opposed to just dipping your toe into the vintage pool and cheaping out and going with a $500 chronograph, which I really don't recommend because you're just buying a disaster. I think that going with the extra investment, going for the Universal Geneve, it was a great decision. Now, you admitted that you probably overpaid. You bought it from Hodinkee. You admitted that. I didn't bring it up first, and I don't know what you paid for it. You didn't tell me. I didn't ask. I'm sure you did overpay, but at the end of the day, although I do not recommend overpaying ever, it's just a stupid thing. It's not stupid, but although I do not recommend overpaying ever, ultimately, it doesn't matter in retrospect, right? Because if you paid an extra 10% and you look back on it in 2 years, the odds are you're not even going to think about it. You're just going to know that you have a great watch. I would rather slightly overpay for a wonderful watch than underpay and think you got a steal and cheap out and eventually just have a bag on your hands. So I think that you did make a good decision with buying this watch. You should have got it from T&H, but I am glad that you did buy it. And now finally, what do I think you should buy? And to me, the answer is simple. You have many watches here which are beautiful, well built. They're good watches that I would be proud to own any day of the week. But in many ways, these watches are very versatile. And that's a wonderful thing. I mean, I think that in a young collection, watches should be versatile. They should play a bunch of fields and be able to do them well. But because you've invested a lot of money so far, and I think you're going to continue investing a lot of money, I think that you should take it to the next step by an isolating watch that is not versatile. Buy a watch that really does not have that much function in your life. In my opinion, a vintage dress watch, either from Jaeger-LeCoultre, from Vacheron Constantin, maybe from IWC even, possibly. There are a couple brands there. I wouldn't go as far as Patek. I think that's unnecessary. Even Piaget would be beautiful. Or if you want to scale it down, go with Omega. Omega is a little bit more versatile. I think Omega is a little bit more versatile. Typically, their watches weren't so isolating in their dress function, but they are still, obviously incredible watches. I love vintage Omega. But I think if you were to go with this super thin, super refined, precious metal, 35mm dress watch from like a heart horology brand, you would kill it. Why? Because at this point in your collection, you have 4 versatile pieces. You have enough watches where you can start to buy things that are very specific and are the best at what they do, right? I think that a vintage, Jaeger-LeCoultre in white gold with, for argument's sake, a Florentine case, which we actually sold one a couple months ago, that watch would achieve dress better than anything else. I mean, truly, there is no better than a watch like that. If you go to a wedding, for example, there's no one in the room that's going to beat your wrist game. If you wear the Cellini, maybe there won't be someone with a better watch, but there might be someone there with a watch that just fits the scene a little bit more. Because I personally think that the Cellini, although definitely a dress watch, like I said before, does achieve a more casual feel, especially with the strap you've paired it with. So going with the best of the best in a certain category, I think is your right move. And in my opinion, that next move should be in the dress world. So that's it, Eddie. I hope you enjoyed this video. You've got a wonderful collection, especially for such a young guy. You're only 23 years old. I mean, really terrific stuff. So keep on collecting. And if there's anything I can do for you in the future, please let me know. It would be my pleasure to talk watches at any time. Any of you out there that would like your collections reviewed on this channel, please shoot us an email at info@theoandharris.com with the subject collection review. We're not going to be able to get to all of them tomorrow, but we're going to get to all of the collections at some point. Thank you guys so much for watching Rant&h, and have a wonderful day.